All right, let's jump right in.
Sounds good to me.
Today we're doing a deep dive into flawless authority.
Okay.
It's a chapter from Dartariyat Ma by Iranian mystic Gholam Reza Rashidi.
Right.
And it's all about authority from this really unique Sufi perspective.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
So we're going to be talking about things like
Okay.
inner strength and resilience,
Uh-huh.
especially in,
Right.
a world that can feel pretty overwhelming.
Well, yeah, and Rashidi tackles this idea in a really
Yeah.
unexpected way.
Okay.
He points out that humans, we're physically limited,
Uh-huh.
but we have this immense power in the realm of meaning.
It's like saying, our physical strength might not be much, but,
Right.
our focused intention can totally change the game.
Exactly. It's about aligning our actions with, our deepest values.
Yeah.
And our goals. And Rashidi even uses this analogy
Yeah.
of moths drawn to a flame.
Okay.
Others are just naturally pulled towards that kind of focused energy.
That makes me think about, leaders who inspire others just by being authentically themselves.
Yeah.
They don't need to force anything. People just want
Yeah.
to follow their lead.
That's a great connection. And that actually feeds into the central paradox
Okay.
that Rashidi presents.
I'm listening.
He says to act flawlessly, one requires authority, and authority arises from acting flawlessly.
Wait, that sounds like a total catch-22.
Right.
You need authority to act flawlessly,
Oh,
but you also need to act flawlessly to gain authority.
It's not about a starting point,
So then?
but a continuous cycle.
Okay.
Each flawless action builds more authority, which then empowers us to act even more flawlessly.
I see.
Think of it like building a muscle. The more we exercise it,
Yeah.
the stronger it gets.
Okay, I'm starting to see the spiral here,
Yeah.
but isn't there a risk of getting stuck? Just going through the motions without actually making progress?
Yeah.
How do we be sure we're actually growing?
That's where the concept of flawless action becomes really crucial. It's not about achieving some kind of unattainable perfection,
Right.
but it's about recognizing that authority is like a wild horse.
A wild horse.
It can be this powerful force, but if we're not careful, it can totally run away with us.
So we need to learn how to ride it,
Exactly.
to stay in control.
And that control comes from inner strength and self-awareness.
I like it.
Rashidi emphasizes that true authority
Yeah.
isn't about outward displays of power,
Uh-huh.
but about the inner work we do.
Oh, interesting.
It's about understanding ourselves deeply and acting in alignment with that understanding.
That makes me think of the stereotypical image of an authoritative figure.
Oh, yeah.
The one who throws their weight around and demands obedience.
Right.
It sounds like the Sufi perspective is completely different.
It is true. Authority in this sense
Right.
isn't about forcing others to follow,
Uh-huh.
but about cultivating a kind of inner magnetism that naturally draws people in.
I see.
He uses this quote that really captures this idea.
Well, let's hear it.
An empowered individual is not like a king riding a horse of pride.
Okay.
More often, they are an unassuming seeker who desires nothing, while all desires bow before them.
Powerful imagery, right?
It flips the script on what we typically associate with authority.
It definitely makes you rethink what true leadership and personal growth are all about.
Yeah.
It's not about ego or dominance, but about inner cultivation.
Right.
It's almost like the quieter and more self-aware you are, the more potent your authority becomes.
That's a fascinating observation.
Thanks.
And it leads us to another key point that Rashidi makes.
Right.
He suggests that authority isn't just about influencing others.
Okay.
It's also a vital tool for overcoming obstacles in our own lives.
So it's not just about leading others.
Right.
It's about leading ourselves through challenges.
Exactly. And there's a line in the chapter that says,
Okay.
it matters not whether the obstacle before the seeker is a frail wall of straw or a massive mountain range.
Whoa.
They will pass beyond it.
Wow. That's powerful.
It's like having a superpower that lets you see solutions where others only see problems.
It reminds me of that Hafez quote, I am not one to bow to the whims of the cruel heavens.
Ooh, I like that one.
If fate opposes me, I will overturn the celestial sphere.
Now that's an attitude we can all learn from.
It's that unwavering belief in our ability to shape our own reality.
Yes. It's about cultivating a sense of agency rather than feeling helpless in the face of challenges.
But the question is,
Yeah.
how do we actually develop that kind of unwavering will in our own lives?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right. It all sounds great in theory, but where do we start?
Yeah.
How do we go from feeling overwhelmed by challenges to feeling empowered to overcome them?
Rashidi offers this surprising suggestion.
What is it?
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation.
Not in a selfish way,
Okay.
but as a way to build authority.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
He emphasizes the importance of restraining negative emotions, like anger, pride, and hatred. It's not about suppressing them,
Got it.
but about strengthening our inner core.
I see.
He uses this great analogy.
Okay.
It's like stepping aside from a flood.
Okay.
We learn to preserve ourselves without trying to control external forces.
I love that it's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
It's not about fighting against the current,
Right.
but about finding a place of stillness and strength within ourselves.
Exactly. And as we become more adept at this inner work, we naturally develop a greater sense of authority.
Okay.
It's not something we force. It arises organically from our commitment to self-preservation and inner growth.
This is all incredibly thought-provoking.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground already, from the paradoxical nature of authority to the importance of intention and self-restraint.
It's a lot to unpack.
So we've been talking about this idea of self-preservation
Yeah.
and how it relates to authority.
Right.
It's almost like by choosing not to engage with those negative emotions, we're actually conserving our energy and building up our inner strength.
Yes. And Rashidi goes even deeper with this concept.
Oh, really?
He says, with each instance of holding ourselves back from anger, pride, lust, or hatred,
Okay.
our soul gains greater authority until no flood can uproot it.
So it's not just about avoiding negative reactions in the moment.
Right.
It's about cultivating a kind of resilience that can withstand any storm.
That's right. It's about building that inner foundation so strong that nothing can shake us.
And that kind of inner strength.
Right.
That's the true source of authority.
Exactly.
But let's be realistic for a moment. We're all human rights.
Of course.
We're going to mess up sometimes.
Yeah.
We're going to give in to those negative emotions.
It happens.
Does that mean we failed in cultivating authority?
Not at all. It's all part of the process.
Okay.
Remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
There will be times when we stumble, when we get swept up in the current.
Yeah.
The key is to notice those moments, to acknowledge them,
and to learn from them.
So it's about self-compassion as much as self-discipline.
Absolutely. We need to be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
To recognize that we're all works in progress.
Definitely.
And each time we make a mistake, we have an opportunity to get back up, dust ourselves off, and try again.
It's like learning to walk. We fall down a lot at first, but eventually we find our balance and we start to walk with confidence.
Exactly. And the same is true with cultivating authority.
Okay.
It's a process of trial and error.
Yeah.
We fail, we learn, and we try again.
I see.
And with each attempt, we get a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more in control.
But how do we know if we're actually making progress? What are some signs that we're moving in the right direction?
Well, one sign is that we start to feel more grounded.
Okay.
More centered, even in the midst of chaos. We're less reactive, less easily swayed by external events.
It's like we've developed an inner compass that guides us.
Even when the world around us feels turbulent.
Precisely. And another sign is that we start to attract the right kind of people and opportunities into our lives.
So it's not about forcing our way into situations or manipulating people.
It's about becoming the kind of person that naturally attracts what we want.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that moth to flame analogy.
Exactly.
When we cultivate that inner radiance, that focused energy, others are naturally drawn to it.
Yes, and this brings us back to the connection between authority and leadership.
Okay.
If we want to be truly effective leaders, we can't rely on external power or control.
Right.
It has to come from within.
True leadership is about inspiring others through our own example.
Right.
Through our own commitment to living in alignment with our values.
Exactly. It's about creating a space where others feel safe to grow and to thrive.
I think so many of us are craving that kind of leadership right now.
Yeah.
Leadership that's grounded in authenticity and integrity.
Absolutely. And it all starts with each of us doing the inner work.
Yeah.
Cultivating that flawless authority within ourselves.
This is all incredibly powerful stuff.
It is.
But I think it's important to acknowledge that cultivating this kind of authority can feel really challenging.
Right.
Even intimidating at times.
It is. It's not a quick fix or a magic bullet.
Definitely not.
It requires a deep commitment to self-awareness.
Yeah.
Self-discipline and self-compassion.
So what advice would you give to someone who's feeling overwhelmed by the idea of cultivating flawless authority? Where do they even begin?
I'd say start small.
Okay.
Focus on one area of your life where you feel like you could be more intentional, more in control. Okay. Maybe it's managing your time more effectively or setting healthier boundaries in your relationships.
So it's about identifying one specific area where we can start practicing that restraint and intentionality.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment, to try different approaches until you find what works for you.
Okay.
There's no one-size-fits-all formula for cultivating authority.
Right.
It's a personal journey. A process of self-discovery.
And it's a journey worth taking, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because the rewards are so much greater than just achieving external success or gaining recognition.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Yeah.
A sense of alignment with our truest selves.
And that alignment, that sense of inner peace and strength, that's the real power of flawless authority.
That's beautifully said.
Thanks.
And as we continue to cultivate this authority within ourselves, we naturally become a force for positive change in the world.
This has been such an enriching conversation.
It has.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of what it means to be truly authoritative.
I'm glad.
It's not about wielding power over others or trying to control external circumstances. It's about cultivating a deep sense of inner strength and letting that guide our actions. As we're exploring this idea of flawless authority, it strikes me that it's not just about personal growth. It's also about creating a ripple effect that impacts the world around us.
Absolutely. When we cultivate that inner strength and clarity, it naturally influences how we interact with others.
Okay.
We approach situations with more composure, more understanding. And, that can have a really profound impact on the people we encounter.
So it's not just about leading ourselves. It's about leading by example. Inspiring others to cultivate their own sense of authority.
Exactly. Remember Rashidi's point about humans being powerful in the realm of meaning? When we embody flawless authority, we become like a beacon in that realm.
Okay.
Drawing others towards a more intentional and fulfilling way of being.
That reminds me of something we talked about earlier. The idea that cultivating authority is an ongoing journey. It's not like we reach some endpoint and suddenly become these perfect, flawless beings.
Absolutely. It's a continuous process of self-discovery and refinement. We make mistakes, we learn, we adjust our course, and we keep moving forward.
Which brings us back to that central paradox that Rashidi presents. To act flawlessly, we need authority. And yet authority arises from acting flawlessly.
Right. It's
like a chicken or the egg scenario.
It is.
Where do we even begin?
I think the key is to release the pressure of needing to be perfect right from the start. It's more about making a conscious choice, moment by moment, to align our actions with our values. Each small step in that direction strengthens our inner authority.
So it's not about waiting until we feel perfectly authoritative to start acting with integrity and intention.
It's about those daily choices, those small acts of courage and self-awareness that gradually build that foundation.
Rashidi talked about restraining negative emotions as a way to cultivate authority. But what about the times when those emotions do surface? How do we handle those moments in a way that aligns with this idea of flawless action?
That's where self-compassion becomes really essential. We're not aiming for some kind of emotionless state. It's about recognizing those emotions, acknowledging them without judgment, and then choosing how we want to respond.
So it's not about denying our feelings, it's about choosing not to be ruled by them.
Exactly. And that takes practice. It's like building a muscle. The more we exercise that muscle of conscious choice, the stronger it becomes.
This whole concept of flawless authority has been incredibly illuminating.
Yeah, me too.
I think what resonates with me most is this shift in perspective. It's not about seeking power over others or trying to control external circumstances. It's about cultivating a deep sense of inner strength and letting that guide our actions.
You know what's amazing? When we embrace that approach, when we lead from a place of genuine inner authority,
we not only transform ourselves, but we also inspire others to do the same.
It's like creating a ripple effect of positive change.
Exactly.
That extends far beyond ourselves.
As we conclude this deep dive, I want to leave you, our listener, with a final thought. What is one small step you can take today to act with greater intention, integrity, or restraint?
I like it.
It doesn't have to be a grand gesture.
Okay.
Maybe it's choosing patience over frustration in a challenging situation.
Yeah.
Or speaking up for what you believe in even when it feels uncomfortable.
Those small acts of courage and awareness,
Yes.
those are the building blocks of flawless authority.
They are.
Yeah.
And as you continue to cultivate this inner strength,
Yeah.
remember that it's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
There will be ups and downs, moments of triumph and moments of challenge.
Of course.
But through it all, trust the process and embrace the power that lies within you.
This has been a truly insightful exploration of flawless authority.
We've uncovered so much wisdom from Rashidi's words.
It's really fascinating stuff.
And I hope you found this deep dive as thought-provoking as I have.
Me too.
Until next time, keep seeking knowledge. Keep challenging assumptions.
Yeah.
And keep diving deep into the fascinating world of ideas.